Another week, available inventory is easing down into the fall. Are there any extraordinary factors that we can start to see? Or will the season turn out to be a return to normal? That's what we're looking at in this week's Altos Research Market Update. Each week, Altos tracks every home for sale in the country, all the pricing, all the supply and demand, all the changes in that data so that we make it available to you before it becomes available through the traditional channels. Let's see what the data says for the week of September 27th, 2021. The stat that we're watching most closely over the next 6 weeks or so is inventory. As we approach the end of the mortgage forbearance program, we know that there will be essentially no foreclosures happening. American homeowners are simply in too strong a financial position, and the mortgage terms are so favorable that essentially no one will default on their loan due to the pandemic. In fact, we are rapidly approaching the fewest ever loans in any stage of delinquency. So I expect that when forbearance is all done, that we will be at record few delinquencies. No foreclosures, no short sales, but some of these homes will get listed for sale. One way to resolve a loan that I'll never be able to pay is to sell. So there are 400,000 homes exiting forbearance in October. Some of those will get listed for sale. How many and how soon? It's not exactly clear. It's not a lot. But October and November, active inventory normally shrinks before the holidays. So any extra sales will be very measurable. This week, active inventory of unsold single-family homes declined by just under 1% or so to 433,000. That's 25% fewer than last year at this time. This is a very normal weekly shrink of the market for late September. What it says is that there are no extra forbearance properties anywhere in the market yet. Remember that 6 million homes have gone through the forbearance process. Almost all have renegotiated and are back current on their loan. A few percent have sold so that the owner could capture that equity cash and not renegotiate. So that's what we're looking for here. How many are going to actually come to market? And are they going to do so in October, November, December? The other thing to notice on this inventory chart is 3 years ago, we're at the 3-year anniversary of the point when we were at the decade's highest mortgage rate. Rates rose for most of 2018 to peak just under 5% in October of 2018. So this rise, it slowed the market. And you can see that 2019 started with more inventory than 2018. The next 3 years, rates have been dropping and staying ultra low, and inventory has declined right along with rates. I like to point this out because when and if rates rise, we should be able to see a little bit more inventory coming to market. Our immediate sales tracker this week still shows plenty of properties getting listed and taking offers in hours or just days. You can see the peak volume in June. And then with the 2 holiday dips, July 4th and Labor Day Monday, because this curve is really reliable each year, this will be another place where we would be able to see any forbearance listings. The volume of new listings in a given week drops in October, November, December. People wait till spring to sell. So if anybody's coming out sooner than that, we might see a jump in that time. It's going to be small, but we're going to be looking for it. The median price of a single family home in the US this week is $389,900. That's unchanged from last week and basically flat for 6 weeks in a row. We have 4 more weeks of this seasonal price plateau before the holidays, which if there's any surprising change, you can be sure we'll notice it and point it out here first. The median price of the newly listed cohort is at 362,000. That's down a fraction from last week, but you can see in the light colored line here, the leading indicator, this newly listed cohort, is actually at the high end of the range for all the third quarter. This is because we have buyer demand supporting prices much later in the year than normal. You can see in 2019 and 2018 and earlier that usually by September, sellers have to drop their prices to move before the holidays. This year, because transactions have been so fast, sellers are pricing like they normally would in July or August. So the new listings cohort gives us visibility into transactions, the sales that will happen in October, November, and December. They get listed now, they're on the market, then they take an offer and they close in October or November, December. And what that tells us is that because transactions take a long time to report, you can already see the bullish price headlines that will be reported in the first quarter of next year. Finally, this week, I thought we'd look at the price range segments across the country. Altos tracks every market in the country in 4 price range segments. In local markets, the high end of the market may be behaving very differently from the low end. And so you want to be able to look at the price that matters most to you. Normally, the most expensive homes, for example, take longer to sell. This incredible boom market of the last couple of years has been felt across all price points. Normally, it might take, for example, 3 or 4 months to sell homes at the high end. Right now, it's only 49 days. You can see in this table here, the sweet spot in the market is 309, 300 to 350. The cheapest stuff actually takes longer to sell. The low end actually takes longer to sell. So you can see 28 days here. You can also see the volume, the new listings and absorbed volume is higher at that 300 to 350 range. This is across the country. In some markets, $1 million is the low end of the market. And I like to point this out because, for example, days on market, as that climbs this fall, it may be climbing more in certain price segments than in others. So in your local market, days on market may be climbing across all the markets, but it may be staying low in the highest demand. So use the market segments to really understand where the demand is, especially in the local market. Okay, that's all the time we have for this week. If you want to do that investigation in your local markets, you can do that at altosresearch.com. There's a link in the description below. Click that. If you're a realtor, make sure you book time with our team because you want to have your clients be able to see that data as soon as it becomes available, especially if the market starts transitioning. You want to be able to point out precisely in their price range. In this competitive market, they need you to help them be informed. So realtors, book a demo with our team. Make sure that you're in front of the competition. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel to get these videos every week. Thank you. Or next week.